2024, and boy, oh boy, do we have a session for you. I appreciate everyone for stopping by. If you guys haven't already, please make sure that you have subscribed. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss when we fire up a late night live session like we're doing here tonight. I hope everybody's had a blessed weekend. I know that we definitely have, and I continue to show up here every day wanting to get to work. On a Sunday evening, I'm looking forward to getting after it on a Monday morning. This is the place that I want you guys to get to, right? I'm not just talking about, oh, hey, we got some crypto opportunity. This is about all of the asset classes. We're understanding real estate, business, precious metals, what's happening in the digital asset space, fourth industrial revolution, and how can we get our family, our business, and our investments on the right side of the greatest transfer of wealth in world history. It's not just a meme. We don't just throw this out. We're actually making it happen. And I want you to get aligned with your purpose during this moment in time. We're setting up here in the next 24 hours. We got the eclipse coming through, the great American eclipse. Powerful moment. A lot of events already taking place that have made this year exciting, and it's only going to continue. I just want to say thank you for being with us, part of our community. You know what our mission is, to help as many people as possible get on the right side of this thing, survive and thrive. Not just throwing this out as it's a cool little term, cool little deal that we flow out. You know, this is something that we actually are doing, not just talking about. And every single week, I hear from my community members telling me, hey, just made an investment in business, real estate, precious metals. I got a deal cooking here. What do you think about this? You know, and they know, everybody knows in my community, I'm not here to give you financial advice. I'm just some guy, 29 years of age, trying to make it happen for my family. And so I'm breaking down with the current events, financial markets, decoding the data. How can we make a move? And what moves am I making? Full transparency. You guys know I don't have any sponsors. All of our community resources are available at my website, zachrector.com. Other than that, I'm just trying to get the truth to you, and I am going to give you my opinion. I am going to tell you that I am stacking it. I am going to tell you that we got some movement happening on the charts. Remember when they made fun of us? Remember when they called us crazy lunatic whack job conspiracy theorists? Remember when they made fun of us for stacking precious metals? Let's check the chart real quick. I tell you, and like I've been saying about these XRP haters, they can't stand to see the smile on our face. They can't stand to see us being successful during this moment in time. And the only thing that we regret is that we can't help more people. Please help me out by sharing this content out far and wide, folks. Let's make it happen. Let's take a look at the charts. Here's your gold. How about that? New all-time high for America, US dollar. 2,346, and you already know the deal. It's been at all-time high in many other major currencies as well. Now breaking out to all-time high in US dollar terms, this is what we've been talking about. This is what we've been waiting for. $28 silver. And remember, this is just getting the party started. $28 silver. Now we're just below 28 bucks right now, but we did get a wick now as the markets are opening up. You guys already know the deal, the Forex markets. And as we get closer to 24/7, 365 on blockchain DLT technology to where these markets get way more fluid, we're going to go to the real fundamental value. We are going to discover what that fair market value actually is. And I know many of us are happy to see this, right? But we know that a lot more is coming this way. And this is just gold and silver. This is on our hedge against inflation, our insurance policy. Remember, I really don't even think too much about the gains on this. I stack it to preserve some form of wealth in the form of metal, utility, that I can pass on down to my children. I'm not here to really sell this sucker at $100. What I have talked about, and we had our Discord weekly call yesterday. One of my good friends, Johnny, such a crucial member of our community, so much experience in real estate. But he was talking about his precious metals dealer and his relationship. And like I said, I like having a relationship with your local dealer. I have my affiliates on my website, but I still have a relationship with my local dealer as well. Well, Johnny's got his metals guy, and he says that he's already got 100-ounce silver bars on deck ready to transfer to gold when we do get back to that historical ratio getting corrected, right? And we don't even have to go all the way back to 15 to 1 or 20 to 1, but even if we just approach that level, He's already he doesn't even have to call his metals guy. He's already got it set up. It's like setting your limit order on cryptocurrency, right? He's already got it set up with his precious metals dealer. And this is what we've been talking about right here, is establishing relationships with professionals around us and folks that can help us get a deal done. I don't surround myself with any of the negativity. I really shut it all out, other than getting motivated sometimes when I read a little comment. When I listen to a little TikTok or Twitter talking head, it fuels me up a little bit. I gotta admit that. Folks, let's get it going. We have so much to cover tonight, and I wanted to set the tone with this one right here. Apparently, this was an interview from Denzel Washington. I'm not going to play the clip because it includes some emotional soundtrack music in the background, which actually makes it a little bit more powerful. It reminds me of back in the day when I would make my TikTok videos with the emotional soundtracks in the background. That always hit really well. And this message did hit really well. It was very powerful. And I wanted to set the tone for this live with this message from Denzel Washington. Went live on Instagram with Pastor Bernard, I don't know who this is, to express his devotion to Christ and God's plan. Now, remember, I'm not here to tell you what to invest in or who to believe in, who to love, or what kind of program to do. I speak on my program. I speak on my truth. You guys catch your own vibe. You do your own deal. But Denzel Washington sharing his truth, he says, Washington also spoke on the state of Hollywood and said we are being forced to deal with powers higher than ourselves. He said, God is sending us a message. I wish I could play the clip, but it's got that music. Folks, this is what we are here to do right now. This is our purpose during this moment in time. And I'm going to show you this next tweet that I just shared here tonight on X. If you don't want to cover ETHgate, that's fine. That's your prerogative. That's fine. I know many of these little shills out here, they can't mess up their little check that they make for being a little shill, a little shilly shill on TikTok, YouTube, or Twitter, whatever their platform is. I know they can't mess up their little check. It's a little one, but I know they don't want to mess it up. Okay, sure. You can't cover ETHgate. We're going to save our country over here. You aren't going to stop our effort to save this country. If you don't want to cover ETHgate, that's fine. Without fair access to capital markets, we don't have an American dream. We don't have a country, folks. This is bigger than crypto, as we've been saying. Do you want to get on the right side of history or not? A lot of people are just going to sit down, shut up, and take it. It ain't happening over here. And they hate it. They just hate it. They can't stand to see it. But we will not relent. We will not give up. And we're going to have 1 million views by tomorrow morning on the 3rd trailer for the XRP Unleashed documentary. They can't stop it, folks. And we're already actually almost at 1 million views on the 2nd trailer. Now, hey, I'm happy to have a little screen time, of course. That's cool. Part of this, John Dean's going to be the star of the show. I hope they can get David Schwartz, Brad Garnt, big hitters from Ripple. There's many other folks that they've already interviewed, like Steven Narioff, that have a much more fantastic and interesting story to tell than myself. If I don't even get included, I'm happy that I even got interviewed for it and considered. It's an honor to bring the truth on XRP to America and to stand up and say that we can tell our children and our grandchildren that we put up a fight to save this country. And it's not just America. You guys know, you guys are outside of America listening to my show right now. Our audience has gone worldwide. This is the powerful moment that we live in right here with this social media platforms. You guys already know. This is much bigger than just America. But this is what we're up against. A lot of people outside of this country just don't get it. We just don't get ETHgate. Well, that's fine. You don't have to cover it. But you're not going to stop us from saving our country. I was just watching a good documentary last night again, Inside Job, which is actually a documentary based off the Great Financial Crisis. I'm scouring. I'm interested to see where XRP Unleashed, the documentary, actually gets put on Amazon, Hulu, Netflix, all these platforms, right? I'm scouring through looking for something to watch last night, and I come across Inside Job, which is a documentary, and I think that I've watched it actually a while ago. It came out in like 2010, 2011. Really fascinating because they interview George Soros, they interview Christine Lagarde back when she was the head of the Central Bank of France. So this goes way back. They interviewed Barney Frank. Elliot Spitzer, Attorney General and Governor of New York. Like this was 2010, 2011, right after the great financial crisis. And they interview all these people that we now see, trying to move levers and kind of shape our world right now here in 2024. And what's so fascinating about going back and watching this documentary about the inside job, the great financial crisis, is that it's only gotten 10 times bigger. Nothing has changed. It's only gotten bigger. And so when folks say, oh, this time it's different, we've been saying, right? Oh, you betcha this time it's different. This time it's 10 times bigger, if not more. Now, Crypto for Life, I see you with the 2 spot. I see you with a couple 2 spots. Crypto for Life, I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you, my friend. Thank you so much. Big session tonight, guys. If you haven't already, please make sure you smash that thumbs up, share it out far and wide. Let's get rocking and rolling on this news. Russian-controlled nuclear reactor, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that one, damaged following the drone attack. So we have a drone attack taking place over here. This is in a area of Ukraine that is now Russia controlled. Okay, remember, this is World War III events, not going away, continuing to pick up, and it's a real confrontation between the East and the West, and we're going to continue to watch because it's not only a kinetic war that's being fought in the battlefield, this is a currency and a commodity war as well. This is why we have China's central bank purchasing gold for its reserves for the 17th straight month in March. China continues to stockpile. While these folks make fun of our little pet rock gold, while they make fun of us little silver stackers, right? They ain't laughing when they wake up and check the charts, when they wake up and watch our live show and we're having a good old time with a big old fat smile on our face because silver just went above 28. Gold is at an all-time high and it's still pushing massive momentum. And I just dropped a video, a little quick short ticky-tock for everybody here today earlier. And what did we say? Bitcoin and gold are both sending signals. Bitcoin is sending a signal that speculation is still rampant. That's why Bitcoin went to an all-time high before its halving. Pre-halving pump, very common, very normal. But to go to an all-time high before the halving, I don't think that we've seen that before in our history. I got to go back and fact check myself. You guys can in the comments if you already know the answer. But I don't believe this happened in 2017 or 2013, where we hit a all-time high before the halving. This definitely didn't happen in 2020 either. So, this is unprecedented, confirming that speculation is still rampant. That's the signal that Bitcoin is sending. And for gold, the signal it's sending is confirming that what is about to hit the fan. And that despite all the talking head pundits and the softy, manipulated data that they want to give us on CNBC, we see what's happening in the real economy. I was just talking about this with my Discord group yesterday. We see the real indicators. They give us the talking head data points that are completely manipulated and flipped upside down to make America still believe everything's A-okay. We should feel warm and fuzzy inside. Meanwhile, the real ones, you guys listening to this show here tonight, you guys see the real indicators when you walk down Main Street, don't you? Yep. Fastest rug pull in American history. The Fed raising rates at the fastest pace in history. That's going to rug pull it. Now, speaking of real estate and rug pull and why we are stacking gold, right? Why is China stacking gold for the 17th consecutive month? And by the way, if you don't think that they were stacking it before then, you would be mistaken. You would be confused. Just because they didn't report it doesn't mean it wasn't happening. And why are they stacking gold? Central banks around the world stacking more gold than they have in the last 50 years. Sydney house prices are about the same in gold terms since 2007. 17 years and basically flat, about 400 ounces to get that house in Sydney. Yet the median sales price has gone from about 500,000 to 1.4 million. Houses aren't going up, your dollars are losing value fast. When money is losing value this fast, people are more worried about spending time on investing, retaining value for wealth, than producing things in the economy working. This is why folks, have really pushed to become speculators, because making a 5% return, a 10% return, is not going to get it done. It's not going to move the needle when inflation is running at 5, 10% or more. More people thinking about crypto, property, stocks than work, etc. Less young people caring about working hard at their jobs. Who gives a crap now? Incomes aren't going up and you're taxed to death. Why bother? But the worst is yet to come. This only accelerates from here. Just wait. Now, as I was saying, this is why we do it. Yes, I'd love to see the gains, but really just holding value is the hedge, the insurance policy that we consider our precious metals, or at least myself. Now, we do expect gains, and in dollar terms, that's great. But what we really are planning on doing is holding our value in assets right here, right, that are going to appreciate and hopefully outperform inflation, and continuing to stack assets that can spit us out cash flow. That's what's critical. We need cash flow, whether we're using US dollars, whether we're using, Australia, you can see how much their dollar has gone down, right? How much has gold gone up? Well, you got to ask the question, right? How much has gold gone up versus how much has the dollar gone down? We already know in the United States of America that we've lost about 100% of our value since the inception of the Federal Reserve over 100 years ago. So that's where we're at over that time frame. If you look at the month-to-month inflation, well, they're spitting out 3% inflation. Sure. I can't find that anywhere, right? And the problem for most folks right now is that there's so much confusion, concentration of everybody making the same bets. Everybody thinks that they're unique, that they're going to be the next big speculator, but they're speculating on the same things that everybody else has piled into. And this is why you see a Magnificent Seven now that's turned into a Fantastic Four. Oh no, let's call it the Fabulous Five, depending on who you ask. This is our stock market in America. And this is what I'm saying. The market's up. The data points that we got this week was job numbers blowing out the expectations out of the water. 300,000 jobs. Was it any good jobs? Let me know in the comments down below. Was it anybody in our community? Did anybody else, here get a good job? See, most of us have been trying to preserve the good jobs that we have. We've been starting our side hustles. We've been trying to grow our businesses because we know that the disruption is coming. We know that even if you're the best employee, you do your job perfectly, it just might be time your corporation that you work for might not make it. Now, this is a data point, too, to consider from Darth Paul. This jobs data cannot get better for housing bears. And I would say, you don't even have to be bearish. You just have to be a realist. It's not that we think that every market's going to crash. There's still real estate markets in the U.S. going up. The main factor is they have a lack of supply. But when it comes to the real economy, generally speaking, full-time employment is collapsing. Like I said, they blew the jobs numbers out of the water with part-time jobs. Most of them not even going to Americans. While they report a strong jobs market leading to higher for longer rates and collapsing sales and prices. This is our situation at hand, folks. Next, total credit card debt is skyrocketing as savings rates have crashed from XRP Ledger. Total revolving credit in the U.S. is now at $1.3 trillion, up from $960 billion in 2021. So we're up at $1.3 trillion right now. Meanwhile, the savings rate has plummeted to just below 3.6% as affordability hits record lows. Interest rates on credit card debt are also hitting record highs near 25%. How are you going to build generational wealth when you're paying a credit card 25%? And you're just burying yourself. We're at 1.3 trillion. America has buried ourselves in debt, in bad debt, consumer debt. Let me flex on my neighbor debt. Let me rent this. And we've even gone to the point of buy now, pay later for Chipotle. And I'm not making fun of anybody that has to do buy now, pay later to pay for their next meal. This is what I've been so worried about. This is why I don't hop on and just have a crypto pump sesh where we pick the next meme coin we're going to pump up. This is about survival. This ain't sexy, but we have to get the message out. This is exactly what we've been warning about, playing out before us. And they call us hypesters. They call me a hypester, a clickbaiter, a this, a that. Is our program working out? Yeah. And here's the thing. I'm going to be careful with my words. But we get criticized for being the hypesters, right? When we've been the ones that back at the start of 2022, even before that in 2021, I warned about the bear market coming. We warned about the recession coming. We warned about inflation wasn't going to be transitory. We warned that there wasn't going to be rate cuts last year. The market expected 6. We got 0. They're expecting 7 this year. Now expectations have gone back down to 3. And now every single Fed official came out last week and said that we might not even get any rate cuts. It might be best to not cut rates at all this year. And you don't have to be an expert to understand that that was going to be a rug pull of Main Street America, which is exactly what my message is about. Main Street America getting wiped out. I understand that share buybacks for the largest corporations in the world are at an all-time high. I understand that the Magnificent Seven in top 10, 20, companies, the top, couple dozen can still get cheap debt, can still survive. But the Main Street economy is what's getting squeezed out. Now, continuing on, folks, I want to talk crypto. Just listen in on this clip here, folks. This is a great question that gets asked, and we are going to get into this here on XRP because you guys already know the deal. Negativity in the XRP community is probably at an all-time high, despite all of the bullish fundamentals that we cover on a daily basis, despite all of the utility coming to the XRP Ledger, despite all of the institutions that have chosen to use the XRP Ledger, despite all the partnerships with Ripple, which will eventually probably use the XRP Ledger. If they aren't now, they will eventually. It's the secret sauce. And now we have the new stablecoin, which now, of course, they're trying to FUD that out. As I said, on that day, you guys already know the deal. We pointed out, I said, guys, the FUDsters, the haters, they're already scrambling. They're a little shaky in their voice today on the spaces, trying to figure out how to put a negative spin on this one. Oh, boy. I commend the effort. Nice try. It's the 1-2 punch. And I got a 1-2 punch for you guys right here. I'm about to play a couple clips here. We got 2 clips here. You're going to listen in on this as far as XRP being a stable value exchange mechanism, because folks want to confuse, is XRP a stable coin? Now, Ripple did their own stable coin for the US dollar. That's different. A lot of people classifying XRP as a stable coin. Why? Not because the price stays stable, but because your value exchange mechanism is stable, which is the XRP Ledger settling in XRP. So is XRP a stablecoin? No, but it helps you facilitate stable value exchange mechanism, which is the XRP Ledger. Listen in on this clip, folks. This is a money shot right here.
The mic, please go ahead. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Bradley Kimes from Investment Perspectives and Cryptonaires documentary. I wanted to ask a question about globalization. If you could talk about the idea of the old concept of the banker coin and a neutral asset being in place of a global reserve status of the dollar, and possibly that being XRP.
Now, huge shout out. I thought actually when I first saw this clip that it was Brad Kimes. I didn't even know that, but I did actually hear that was Brad Kimes. I was like, I thought that I recognized that voice. Huge shout out to Brad Kimes. We'll see Brad in Vegas. I hope to see all of you guys in Vegas that are going. It's going to be so much fun. But a huge shout out to Brad Kimes for asking the real question. Let's talk about reserve currency status. Let's get it done.
What you're asking for is whether there's a possibility of a global currency. And to some extent, that's what Libra was trying to do. And as I understand it, that's different from what XRP is trying to do. And the reason is as follows. As soon as you go to maintaining the value, right, some kind of stable coin, a whole set of regulatory concerns get triggered. I have to make sure that there is corresponding financial or real assets backing this notional value that they seek to maintain. That looks a lot more like a bank, right? Because you're promising some claims which are fixed, and that requires regulation for reasons I just talked about. Now, once you get an army of regulators, every central bank looking at it, then the question is, have you added a whole set of transaction costs to this, and is it worth? Is it that useful? As I understand it, what is attempted with XRP is not so much maintaining the value, but offering a vehicle for exchange, which is quite different, because there you can have value fluctuating. All you need is value to be stable for 10 seconds while the whole transaction takes place. And as a result, there's a whole different need for regulation. You don't need to regulate value. I don't care. So long as there is some value, the transaction can certainly take place. And as a regulator, I'm not so worried about either this displacing my fiat currency, because you're moving from one fiat currency to another. It's just an interim value. And it's a means of exchange, but it's neither a store of value nor a unit account, et cetera, et cetera.
Thank you very much.
Huge shout out to Brad Kimes for asking the real question. And like he said, right, it's not meant to be stable as far as the value of it. It's meant to get you that transaction through in less than 10 seconds. And you guys already know the XRP Ledger is 3 to 5, right? So this is what we're building out here on the XRP Ledger, is this stable value exchange mechanism. And I'm going to play this clip next of Chris Larson explaining why we don't have to fear stablecoins or other real world assets on the XRP Ledger. This will only increase the use of XRP as a math-based currency and native asset. The huge upside is market makers will no longer be needed. We'll take most transactions on chain using the AMM. Right. And you're going to hear him explain in this clip how the best liquidity on the XRP Ledger is going to be going from one currency to XRP, from XRP to the other currency. That's going to be the tightest spread, right, on these AMMs. And so we don't have to be worried about this. XRP is still going to be used. Even though Ripple is building out a stablecoin on the XRP Ledger, they're issuing it on Ethereum as well. Why are they doing that? So they can pull in more liquidity. They can complete that last mile. Listen in on Chris Larson explain this.
You know, Ripple doesn't require you to ever use XRP, even in a trade. I mean, the cool thing here is that anybody in the world now using Ripple can put a bid ask on anything of value from any issuer. So for example, somebody can decide, you know, I'm going to make a market between United Airline miles, if, you know, once United Airline miles are on Ripple, I hope they will be someday, to Brazilian real. You could go directly. You don't actually have to go through XRP. But what we believe will happen is that most market makers, in filling out the world of exchanging value from anything of value, again, currencies, merchant reward points, airline miles, gold, silver, anything that you define as value, most people will actually, most market makers will use XRP, because as a currency without a counterparty, it is a completely unique thing in the protocol, just like Bitcoin is completely unique. So again, our view of why math-based currencies are so valuable isn't necessarily that they replace existing currencies, it's just that they have a very unique feature in that they have no counterparty. So the whole world, the world only has to think about one thing when it comes to Bitcoin or Ripple, is the price in any microsecond in time. You never have to think about the counterparty risks. It turns out that that is a completely unique thing that's never existed before. So why is that important? Let's say we use the example of a farmer in Nepal wanting to buy farming equipment from a supplier in Kenya, let's say. If you didn't have the math-based currency, even in an internet for value, you'd probably have to go Nepalese rupee to Indian rupee to British pounds to Kenyan shilling. That's a lot of hops.
Right, and you're going to lose a good amount of money on each hop.
You lose value on every hop, right? Because you're involving currencies with counterparties, things of value with counterparty. It'd be much better to go Nepalese rupee to XRP through a market maker, and then there's some other market maker that has made a market between Kenyan shilling and XRP. Now, Nepal and Kenya are one hop away. You're actually one hop away from airline miles, and everything is one hop away. That's why a math-based currency, we think, is really unique and really has value.
Now, it's a math-based currency, not just the blockchain ledger, right? But the math-based currency that becomes the best pairing through these market makers, and now we have the automated market maker set to go live here in the next week on the XRP Ledger. Now let's put it all together, folks, from Matt Rosenden. Most of the XRP Ledger community is blind to the developments before them. Native AMM going live. Let's get it. EVM sidechain, EVM dApps. Let's bring all that liquidity from the EVM on over here to the XRP Ledger. Bridge protocol. And let me be very clear, folks, so everybody understands this. Let's get the technical nuance correct so we don't got the Twitter fact checkers and the devs coming out of the woodworks to correct me. The EVM sidechain uses a wrapped version of XRP, which once again, when you use a wrapped version of XRP or you're bridging XRP over, that XRP is getting locked up. So although technically speaking, you are settling with a wrapped version of XRP. You had to wrap up the real XRP to get the wrapped version of XRP on the EVM sidechain. So the EVM sidechain is not on the XRP ledger. Okay, it's a separate chain, but it's going to allow interoperability with the XRP ledger. Any EVM smart contract you can now settle with XRP instead of paying Ethereum gas fees. Is that a utility? Is that a utility worth a little something, something maybe? Yeah. So we don't have to get lost on the technical nuance, right? If we focus on what's being achieved right here, we have bridges, a hub and spoke model to all these smart contract platforms around the XRP ledger. We got the bridge protocol, which is going to do it, XLS38D, Ripple stablecoin, set to go live here at the end of this year. And as we've been explaining, this is the 1-2 punch. The US dollar issued by someone that we can actually respect on the XRP ledger. That's what Ripple is doing. We need an issuer of the US dollar on the XRP ledger that we can trust. Ripple is going to do it. And decentralized identity comes next through XLS40D. That brings KYC on chain if you need it. If you need to be in compliance with regulators, the decentralized ID is the way that you do it. Atomic batch transactions. I'll be explaining that further in another video. Tier 1 custody provider, but atomic batch transactions is going to help, send out more sophisticated, complex transactions. Just in simple terms, it can help projects get paid for every transaction that's happening too. Tier 1 custody providers, and that's being provided by Medico. And then the next part of that too is Standard Custody and Trust Company that Ripple acquired as well. Ripple has set themselves up to be a lender of last resort during this liquidity crisis that is also a debt and currency crisis as well. And as Monica Long, the president of Ripple, pointed out last week, the banking crisis, right, was one of the reasons why we need to give folks better exposure. We need to be able to give folks this type of liquidity over here. And what's coming to the XRP ledger is a lot more than just Ripple doing their stablecoin. As I explained in the video earlier today, Ripple has now built out the blueprint template, plug and play, right, for the CBDC platform, where you can build out a CBDC on the XRP ledger in one day. And then also they've built out now the blueprint, the template for stablecoins on the XRP ledger. Hey, if you want to issue a stablecoin on the XRP ledger, or for that matter, any other real world assets, just like Chris Larson was explaining, you want to tokenize commodities, gold, silver, others, right? This is how we get it done. This is the blueprint. This is the model. This is how you follow it. And so they'll be able to go around to institutions around the world and say, hey, you want to issue a stablecoin? You want to issue tokenized gold? Whatever you want to tokenize and put it on chain, we have the blueprint ready for you. Okay? And what I think is so interesting about this stablecoin play is that the United States dollar helps maintain and keep the reserve currency status through all of these derivatives of the US dollar. It's the same thing with all of the US dollar denominated debt that we have around the world. And we're talking about the bonds, right? We have a bunch of foreign buyers of bonds. And then we have just debt that we've given that's been denominated to them in US dollars, all these other countries around the world. And they are having to pay back in US dollars. This is the only reason why they need US dollars. They're getting away from the dollar for trade, right? And they're dropping our dollar for reserve currency status as far as a store of value. They're not buying any more bonds. But if they have US dollar denominated debt, well, they have to pay back in US dollars. It's just like us having to pay back, or we have to pay our taxes, right? We have to pay our taxes, right? In US dollars. That's really the only reason why we need it. Now, this is all changing. This is all resetting. This is all being restructured. This is all revaluing. And people ask me, what do you invest in? Do I need to invest in foreign currencies? Do I need to invest in stocks, cryptos, all this and that? I've always gone back to utility with no counterparty risk. I want to hold assets that give me utility that I can hold. There's no counterparty risk when I'm holding this sucker right here. I have to defend it myself. It's in my safe, but there's no counterparty risk. If you got M's in the bank account and you're looking to move some of that over to precious metals, you might need somebody to help you out. You might need somebody to keep it in their vault. You might split it up a couple, amongst a couple different places if you got that kind of problem, right? But utility with no counterparty risk as far as holding assets that we don't have exposure to the Central Bank of America. We don't have exposure to the central bank of whatever country you're from. We don't have counterparty risk from an issuer that I don't trust. See, I'm only investing in issued assets on the XRP Ledger that I trust. I got Reaper. I got the Reaper economic system paying me out passive income drip in XRP. All I have to do is hold Reaper, and then they gifted me pillars. I didn't do anything. I just opened the trust line, and I received pillars just for holding Reaper. And now I'm receiving a drip stimulus passive income paid in XRP for holding Reaper and pillars. Now, this is just 2 examples, guys. You guys already see the Flare airdrop, the Songbird airdrop. You guys can drop in the comments down below all the other airdrops that we have received as XRP holders, all of the value that's coming in and around us because people get it. It's like the video I dropped yesterday too, on all of these influencers that want to criticize XRP, but they all got that little XRP moon bag, don't they? They just can't help themselves, right? And so they won't give XRP credit. Oh, Bitcoin's slow. Ethereum's expensive. Solana keeps breaking. What could possibly be the answer? I can't dare mention XRP, but they got that little XRP moon bag, don't they? And I only respect the ones that are willing to admit that they got the moon bag. I think it's highly misleading for the ones that won't admit it. They shill you every other coin that'll come cut them that little checky check, but they won't tell you that they got the XRP stuffed, that they got the XRP stacked. That's just dishonest. Now, it came out today, folks. This is breaking news. Ripple CEO predicts the crypto market will reach $5 trillion by the end of 2024. How about that for a bold prediction from Brad Garlinghouse? He better check with the Twitter fact checkers on this type of speculation. This might be dangerous. They might consider this harmful content, Brad Garlinghouse. The overall market cap of the crypto industry is easily predicted. Oh, wow. Now he's throwing out easily predicted. Uh-oh. Mr. Brad Garlinghouse, we better check it. How dare you speculate in such a way and say that we can easily predict it to double by the end of this year, as it's impacted by all of these macro factors. Bitcoin has risen by more than 140% in the last 12 months, and the halving event is less than 2 weeks away. Brad continued, one of the things I'll say on the macro tailwinds for the industry, I think we will get more clarity in the United States. How about that? And we're getting clarity in the courts for XRP and for Ripple. For the rest of the space, well, we're hoping and praying that it comes through. As an American, I hope it comes through. If we didn't have corrupt and paid for and bought out regulators, we would have it by now, but we don't. Thankfully, we've put up a fight, and thankfully they came after us. It was kind of a blessing, wasn't it? They came after us. Ripple put out $200 million to fight it. We have incredible damages worth hundreds of billions, maybe even trillions. They profited hundreds of billions and trillions off of it, and we're now fighting for saving America in the capital markets. The opportunity that we all want as Americans. The blessing, right, that we now have, right? That dark day in 2020 when we got sued actually turned out to be a blessing, didn't it? God bless all of you guys that are still here. Many people haven't made it. Many people still aren't with us. The U.S. is still the largest economy in the world, and it's unfortunately been one of the more hostile crypto markets, and I think that's going to start to change also. Now, folks, that's about the range that I've been at, 5 to 6 trillion. You guys know my deal. I think that we're going to be doubling up what we did the previous bull run, which was 3 trillion. So 5 to 6 trillion, it's a bold prediction from the CEO of Ripple, but it's actually pretty conservative. As we've been highlighting, 5 to 6 trillion is easily done, right? Every one of these bull runs, we've grown substantially, but not as much as the previously, not as much as the previous bull run, which is typical of new technology, right? And so that's the benefit of us being so early in this space. Some of you guys in the community stacked XRP before I did. Some of you guys pulled the trigger when XRP went down to 10 cents or 11 cents back in 2019, right? So we've been dollar cost averaging into this thing, and I've also been preparing you guys for these huge shifts in the market that we continue to point out, we continue to highlight. I think that we're entering that moment right now with tomorrow. We have the eclipse taking place, and we just have the broader market really that's been overbought for the stocks and the equities. And the signal that's being sent from gold and oil tells me that our economy is only going to continue to struggle throughout the rest of this year. And I believe that in the American election cycle that we have right now, the chaos is only going to pick up and ramp up all throughout the rest of the year. But it's not just US. I know that my show is US centric. That's because that's what I know. I do talk geopolitics on the world stage, but I try to stick with what I know best. And we are willing to cover the World War III events, the geopolitics, the currency and the commodity war, what's happening in these other countries. But the bottom line is we have elections in dozens of countries actually taking place this year. So it's not just an American election cycle. I think the number I heard was some 40 countries are having major elections this year as well. Now, we also have it at a state local level within the United States, where you guys are seeing some states are going completely falling off and the program just ain't working out. And then we have some states that are standing up. And what are they doing? They're making gold and silver legal tender. They're trying to establish cryptocurrency regulations that aren't coming from the Federal Reserve, or coming from the federal government, I should say. The Federal Reserve has nothing to do with our federal government, funny enough, right? Let's take some Q&A, guys. I've managed to get through my whole show here in 40 minutes. If you're still with me, I appreciate you for stopping by. If you guys haven't already, please make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell, smash that thumbs up for me. All of our community resources are available over there at ZachRector.com. You guys already know the deal. I have the link for Link2 down below if you're looking to get private equity. If it's your first time buying private equity from Link2, if you use my link, you can get $500 towards your first investment with Link2. That's why I have that link on down below. That's for you guys. I also have John Deaton's link down below. John Deaton for Senate, or whatever his website is. It's linked up in the description of all my videos now, because we got to put this fight up. We got to continue. This is not the time to let up. We got a lot of people that want to show up every single video and try to hate and FUD XRP. They can't deny the fundamentals. They can't debate or argue the fundamentals at all. And why don't these people want us to talk about ETHgate? See, when you go and you look into that, from the little TikTok influencers that are accepting checks from ERC20 token projects, from Solana presale bull crap, from all the other Mickey Mouse meme coins stealing money from regular people crap that's taking place in this space, that's why they won't cover ETHgate. Is because ETHgate is the base foundational level for the entire pyramid scheme that is cryptocurrency. It's a decentralized Ponzi scheme. That's what DeFi has represented in the cryptocurrency space until now, until the XRP Ledger sets the standard for DeFi, especially on an institutional level, with custody being provided by Medico and Standard Custody and Trust. And see, this is the beautiful thing, guys. Not only has Ripple got the blueprint now for CBDCs on the XRPL and stablecoins on the XRPL, but they also have the custody solution, not only provided through Medico, but the trust company. The difference between a bank and a trust is a trust doesn't lend out against your deposits. So when you put your money into that trust company, Standard Custody and Trust, they're not going to lend out against your assets like a bank does. Fractional reserve lending. This is why we've been continuing to say that Ripple has set themselves up to be a lender of last resort. Remember when they called us conspiracy theorists? Remember when they called us hype for saying that Ripple was going to be a lender of last resort? Remember that? And all of this has come out. All of this has come full circle. Remember when they called us crazy? They still, I'd admit that we still are a little bit crazy, aren't we? But they can't say we're not winning. They can't say we're not successful. They can't say we're not building beautiful families, businesses, and our investments have positioned us perfectly for this moment. And the beautiful thing is that we're going to go down. We're going to go down with a fight. We will not stop, no matter what they try to do. And like I said, you know, these folks don't want to cover ETHgate. That's fine. These folks don't want to save America. That's fine. It's not your battle. You're not in America. I get it. But you probably have the same entities and evil in your country as well. So we probably should get yourself a little red folder. Get yourself another folder. You know, start putting up a fight, because they're right in your neck of the woods as well. These people have spread their tentacles across the entire planet, and these guys won't stop. And they are going into overdrive. They're willing to play dirty. This is what makes this moment so volatile. As they get exposed, as the veil gets lifted, they're willing to play dirty. They're willing to do whatever it takes to distract you from what's being exposed. Now, this is what we have in the XRP community. This is much bigger than XRP, much bigger than crypto. We have true patriots. We have true fighters. This is Jeff Wilhelms dropping a 100 spot super chat on our YouTube tonight. But it gets better. He says, I max donated to John Deaton. I hope all your viewers will consider supporting his campaign. That's what it's about right here. Jeff, God bless you. We needed Warren out. Thank you for all you do. Jeff, thank you for your support. Not just for the super chat towards me, but for supporting and maxing out the donation to John Deaton. We got folks that are cutting big boy and big girl checks to fight for America. This is what it's about. We have our good friend Stuart from Australia showing up with 100 Aussie bucks. What I always forget what your guys' currency is called over there in Australia. Stuart, God bless you, brother. Don't just be a crypto owner. Be smart. Get physical gold and silver. It's time. And as we've been talking about, start up the side hustle. Expand your business. For crying out loud, just make sure that your job is going to still remain during this recession. They won't call it a recession on mainstream. They've completely removed everything from the data that matters. It will not be a technical recession before our election. I'm willing to make that prediction right now. We will not have 2 quarters of negative GDP growth before the election. It will not be a technical recession. And if it was, well, that would be politically incorrect. So we just wouldn't call it that, just like we did in 2022. Remember that one? Yeah, we already did have the technical definition of recession met in 2022. It was just politically incorrect. And I don't think it's going to happen before this election because they've completely manipulated the data. But you and I know very good and well that they have rug pulled Main Street. Me and you, we ain't part of the Magnificent Seven that can still get cheap debt. That's still getting debt at, a few hundred basis points. Right? For the average person trying to get a mortgage now in the US, we're up to about 7%. So we've doubled our mortgage rates plus some. Is that included in inflation? Absolutely not. Stuart, thank you so much for the love. Jeff, thank you so much. Crypto for Life, I know you dropped another super chat. For everybody else in the chat, if you guys haven't already, please make sure that you like this video, share it out far and wide. We got to get our message out. That is all I ask from you guys. I really do appreciate all the support. Everybody who goes to our website, signs up for our Patreon Discord community. I hope to make that an investment that is worth your while. And we also have our community resources available for you guys. We're just trying to help you out. We're just trying to help as many people as possible. I show up here tonight. Most people don't, and the reason why it's not even work for me. This is not work. I mean, it takes time away from my family, which I thank God that I have been able to get myself in a position where I can balance it out pretty dang well between being able to put everything away and go spend time with my family. And those moments mean everything to me. More than all this crypto, more than the money that we're going to make. I already know we're going to make generational wealth. It's going to be a beautiful thing. But the moments with the family are what I really live for. And I thank God that I've been able to get myself in a position right here where I can still enjoy those moments, right? That I can still take the family out and not have to worry that, hey, this is the deal that we continue to talk about. I ran to the grocery store tonight. Every time I go somewhere and I spend money, I feel it. And I that's what drives me back here to work, back to making it happen, back to my purpose, back to my mission, is because I know that if I'm feeling it, there's a lot of other people out there feeling it, because we've been blessed. I've been blessed, and I've worked my butt off too. But if I'm saying, what the hell at the checkout, I know that a lot of people are as well. And this is why I put out the real estate content. Even though my real estate content, it's not the most sexy. It doesn't do the best. I'm lucky to get a few thousand people that actually watch my real estate videos. But why are we doing it? Because we know we've been over the target. We know our analysis has been spot on. And we know that it's a critical part of every single American household is putting that dang roof over your head, feeding your family, as we warned everyone in our community that inflation was not going to be transitory, that the Fed was not going to come in and cut rates until the system breaks. And they've papered this thing over. Maybe it doesn't break until we get closer to the election. I've been watching for this moment right here during this spring. I think that we're going to see a shakeup in the markets here very shortly. But once again, our thesis has just been very simple. We see that the stocks and the equities are overvalued. We see that bonds, you're pissing in the wind, excuse my language, if you're making 5% on your money when inflation's 5 and 10% plus on anything that matters. You're not accomplishing anything. So we have to figure out a program that's going to spit us out consistent, repeatable, and scalable returns. Whether you do that in your business or investments, for me, most of my returns come from my business. I make most of my money from my businesses that I run. My investments are building. I'm a young little whippersnapper. It's just starting to stack up something for investments. Many people start worrying about investments before they should, in my opinion. Now, if you're just barely getting by, should we worry about investments too much? Probably not. We should worry about stacking. And that's why I said my number one thing on my recession to-do list in 2022 was income. Can you get a raise at your job? Can you take on more responsibility? Can you make sure that you check with your boss that your job's just even going to be around? That might be a good idea too. And a lot of folks are probably too uncomfortable to go have that conversation, but take a look around and wake up and realize that it's a matter of survival. If you're scared to go ask your boss, hey, boss man, boss gal, are we going to make it through this thing? I see what CNBC's telling us. I don't believe it. I know what's happening. I see businesses shuttering every single day on Main Street. Are we going to make it? That's the conversation I'd be having with my boss right now. Followed up by, what the hell can I do to make sure we make it? Let me step up. Give me more responsibility. Let me lead the charge. See, I approach life the same way across the board on all of this. As far as hunting down income, as far as hunting down deals, as far as standing up on ETHgate, the corruption, and calling out all of it, standing up and having an allegiance to the truth. This is how I approach life. I assume it's not going to be handed to me. I assume it's not going to be handed to us. I assume that the enemy is going to play dirty. That program's worked out pretty dang well. I can give you a little bit of feedback on that one. We're still in the fight. We are surviving. And we are on our way to building generational wealth. And we're starting to see our thesis play out. Remember, right now is our time to hone in our strategies for this bull run. Maybe you guys have been through the previous bull run or two. Maybe you guys have been around for longer and you've seen these come and go. You better be ready to move on this deal. This cycle is for real. I understand that there's utility for XRP that takes us to very high prices, that takes us to somewhere very, very fun. I am not afraid to talk about high XRP prices. You guys know that. I am not afraid at all. But with that being said, I will be the first person to warn you. There are so many people waiting to dump on us at $2, $3, up to $5. And if we go all the way up to $10, there are going to be so many people trying to dump on us. Please understand that. I am so bullish on this sucker long term, but do not confuse the facts. There are hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people that are looking to dump or sell XRP $5 to $10. A lot of the haters that got their little moon bag, they're going to sell at $2 and $3. I think that they're going to miss out on upside that goes a little bit further, but I understand why people will. And here, let's be very, very clear. I understand. I have audience and community members that are 65, 70 plus, that are in retirement, that need the money now. I get it. I definitely get it. Holding XRP and having that be our ticket to paradise has never been our strategy. It is part of it, but it is not the full encompassing strategy. It does not embody our full program. We include a little bit more than just holding our XRP and praying every night. We like to include praying. We like to include XRP, but we do some other deals as well. I understand why folks are going to offload significant portions of their bag at $5, $10. I get it, man. You put 100,000 into this sucker, you see it go up to $5 and you averaged in at 50 cents and you got yourself a 10x, you turned your 100 grand into $1 million. I understand if you're in a different spot than somebody like myself. In fact, I've already set it up, folks. I'm going to be dropping an updated exit strategy for XRP this week. So if you guys haven't already subscribed, if you want to hear from somebody who's been in the XRP community, who's had an exit strategy for a long time, my updated 2024 strategy, I'm going to give it to you guys. Our lives change. The information changes. What we've learned changed. What I have learned through this process is how many people are going to dump on us at $5 to $10. And it's only added. There's only more and more people, the worse this recession gets. That's just the real deal, guys. The worse this recession gets, the more people are going to offload. Why am I going to be selling more than I initially expected to? Because now I got a family. I've been blessed. When I started investing in XRP, I was a young, dumb bachelor with just, guys, I ran my account to zero as a young, dumb little dude. I overdrafted my bank account buying XRP back in 2018 and 2019. I threw every last penny into my businesses and my investments, and I started going all in on XRP in 2019 because I thought, oh crap, this flip of the switch is coming, and I need a whole hell of a lot more of this. I thank God that I can look back and say, wow, I've been given 4 or 5 years to stack even more of this thing. That's also what's changed. Yeah, I got my family now, that changes, but I also stacked a whole lot more, which is great. Right? Because now I can sell off some XRP, and I actually am planning on trying to buy it back. I'm just trading. XRP is going to go up to $5, $10. I'm going to trade it for fiat funny money. And then when it comes back down, because all these people are going to sell off, I'm going to try to get my bag back. I like my bag of XRP. I still want more XRP, actually. So I'm going to try to buy my bag back. But you guys got to get aligned right now with your strategy, because this sucker's going to move in the blink of an eye. Just like it did before. In 1 month, from 20 cents to $3 in 3-4 weeks. In the blink of an eye. Maybe not overnight, technically, but it's going to feel like it. Now, Johnny Meg Sachs comes in with the 5 spot. Johnny, it was an absolute pleasure to meet you in Vegas last year. The main thing is Flair Songbird is going to send XRP take that to the bank. And Johnny, that's exactly what we've been talking about, right? We got Corium, we got Evernode, we got Zahao, we got the EVM sidechain, we got Flare, we got Songbird, all of these smart contract platforms that are being built around XRP, where XRP gets deployed in bridges, it gets locked up in smart contracts, and we start to settle these smart contracts using XRP or wrap versions of XRP, right? 100%. Tom Thumb comes through, Big 10 spot. Does anybody remember Laughter? Tom, we do. Tom, we like to have a good time. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, my friend. Now, I did see that we got another one from Stuart, giving a shout out to one of our haters, giving a shout out to one of the trolls that comes in. And that's what happens. But they cannot stop us. And I'm just glad that we can give them some entertainment, right? We give them a safe space where they can vent, where they can share whatever they want to share. We don't silence, we don't block, we don't do a deal. You can come on. I actually like it. Please leave your comment. Even if you want to thumbs down the video, thumbs down. Just give me the interaction. Just give me the click. Just give me the thumbs up or down. Give me the comment. Tell me how you really feel. We're all adults here. Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure tonight. All the love, all the support to you guys. Just, prepare yourselves for this week ahead, folks. I'm telling you right now, it is going to be massive. And so we've aligned ourselves with a thesis that prepares us for no matter what the event's going to be, no matter what the Black Swan event's going to be, we're going to be able to survive and thrive. And the more disruption, the more chaos, the better the opportunity gets for us. I hate to say that. I hate to be, the doom investor, but that's the hand that we've been dealt. So we're going to take advantage of it. You better believe that. And if you guys are looking to get in touch with me, any of our community resources, the only place to get in touch with me is through my website, zachrector.com. And you guys already know that we have wallets, exchanges, precious metals, 401k retirement account. You want to roll something over? We got professionals that can help you facilitate that. If you want to get metal shipped directly to your door, we can help that get done as well. Now, for our Patreon Discord community, we're coming up on our 3-year anniversary. There's a reason why we have folks that have been in there for 3 years straight. And I just want to say thank you for the OGs, the first original group that came in. I think we had about, to go back and look, I think we had about 30 people that came in that first month. That first month, 2021. What a time. And the support, guys, it just means the world to me. You guys know what our mission is. It couldn't get more clear right now. And that's why we continue to show up every single day for you guys, for your friends, families, loved ones. Let's get them tapped in as well. Tell them about our channel. Tell them what we do. Tell them what the program's about. We've experienced some success. We got a whole lot more coming our way, and we just like to be open, transparent, with an allegiance to the truth as we show up every single night to cover current events, financial markets, and help everybody in our community get on the greatest side, the right side of the greatest transfer of wealth in world history. It's just that simple. And we will not stop. We will not relent, and we're just going to keep it coming for you guys. Massive week ahead. Make sure you guys stay tuned. We got a lot more content coming. You guys stay safe out there. Let me know in the comments down below. Are you guys going to be looking at the sun? Are you guys going to be looking at the eclipse? We'll see. We'll see how it plays out. I appreciate everyone for stopping by. God bless you all. We'll see you tomorrow.